Welcome back to this very special Super Mario 30th Anniversary Marathon. For this review, I've been thinking about whether or not I should actually cover this game, but then I realized that I had no choice but to do it, since I'm sure a few people would complain if I didn't. So here's my review of Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Famicom Disk System, better known as Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. After the breakout smash that was Super Mario Bros., Shigeru Miyamoto and Kensuke Tanabe, I hope I'm pronouncing those right, began working on a new engine that could be incorporated into the game's sequel. However, after a certain business practice fell through, their engine was made into a completely different game. More on that next time. Now, since they didn't have anything to make a new Mario game out of, they resorted to taking the original Super Mario Bros. And altering it in a few different ways. The result was what Japan knows as Super Mario Bros. 2, released in 1986 for the Famicom Disk System. Now, when I say what Japan knows as, I mean this game was never released outside of Japan at the time of its release. In fact, we weren't able to get an American or European release until 1993, when it was rebranded as The Lost Levels for Super Mario All-Stars. But why didn't we initially get it at first? Some of you might already know why, but for those of you who don't, you'll find out soon enough. First things first, the multiplayer from the first game has been dropped to make way for the option to play as either Mario or Luigi. This is a big deal because Lost Levels mark the first time in a Mario game where Luigi is given his famous higher jump and terrible traction. I'm serious, on the ground, Luigi feels like he's roller skating on butter, but his higher jump makes up for it, I suppose. As for the game itself, well, remember when I said it was basically the original Super Mario Bros. Altered in a few different ways? I'm putting a lot of emphasis on few. Literally, the music's the same, the enemies are the same, the power-ups are the same. It's almost like playing an expansion pack for the first game. So what are the big differences, you ask? I'll sum it up in 4 words. This game is hard. Yep. The biggest change made from the first game is that Lost Levels is more difficult. Much more difficult. In fact, the difficulty is the primary reason as to why it never got an initial European or North American release. Because Nintendo of America knew that it would discourage casual players. It's that hard. What makes it so hard? Oh, I don't know, just about everything. Well, specifically the level design, which I will say is definitely the worst part of the game. There's nothing Mario-like about it. It doesn't subtly or gradually increase in difficulty as you progress, it's just straight up mean from beginning to end. In some levels, you're required to time your jumps just right, or else you're gonna screw up and die. Not to mention there seems to be an oversaturation of invisible blocks. And less I say about the warp zone that takes you back to World 1, the better. Okay, I get the feeling that some of you are probably thinking, well, if the game's that hard, do they give you more lives to make it a bit more comfortable? And the answer is a big nope. Just like the first game, you only get 3 lives. Use them up and it's game over. Well, at least you start back at the beginning of the level you died in, which to be fair is a bit more comforting than the continued cheat from the first game. But still, I recommend using the infinite 1-up trick in the first level. I'm not sure that'll help much, but at least it's there. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about the poison mushroom. Touching it does just as the name implies, it poisons you and takes a whole life away. So, needless to say,
don't touch it.
Alright, I'm just gonna skip ahead to the final boss. I just can't talk about this game anymore. So you beat Bowser, again, just like before. Princess Toadstool does some weird toad summoning ritual, and then you're back to the title screen. And yes, I know about worlds A through D, but to unlock them, I'd have to beat the game 8 times in a row. And I'm not dedicated enough to do that. So, what's my verdict on the Lost Levels? Well, quite honestly, I'd like to think it's anything but a true sequel. It might look like Super Mario Bros., it might play like Super Mario Bros., but overall, it's really nothing more than a cheap fan hack that you can pay $6 for on the Wii's Virtual Console. The one thing that really ruins it for me is the difficulty. It doesn't change, it doesn't help you adapt to the added difficulty, it's just evil. And that's what this game is. It's evil. I'm not exactly sure if my opinion on this game has gotten anyone split or not, but I can easily say the worst is over. Remember that engine I said Miyamoto was working on that soon became a different game? Well, Next time, we're going to see how it gave us Super Mario Bros. 2 USA for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Until then, I'll see you guys real soon.